shit down, turning shit up. I don't consent.
Yo, what's up everybody? Today I'll be showing you how I made a track inspired by Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler, the Creator. His 9th studio album. It's 10 tracks full of danceable songs with lots of influence from R&B, 80s dance tracks, some Michael Jackson in there, to some 90s and 2000s hip-hop, lots of old analog synth sounds, lots of analog drum machine sounds in there. And I'm just going to be walking you through how I made this track. Hopefully you'll learn some stuff, be inspired. That would all be great. So yeah, enjoy the video. Alright, so this is the project file for the beat I made. So the first thing that's very noticeable in songs like Sugar on My Tongue, Sucker Free, I mean a lot of the songs, they just have these bouncy, like very Pharrell drum sounds. A lot of like old drum machine noises, so that's how I got this. So here, just using a lot of like old analog drum machine sounds, like from the 808 machine or the 909, stuff like that. And here just a nice kick, old analog kick. And actually, I used the same core drums for the second part of the beat, just in halftime with a few different kicks. So now let's get into the meat of the song. Let's get into the chords. And for a lot of the stuff, I'm using Tyrell N6, which is a free VST that has a lot of classic vintage synth sounds. And for stuff on this album and other, Tyler sounds, it works really great. So I started out with these chords right here. Then I went ahead and just made a little bass line under that, also from the Tyrell VST. This is the boogie bass preset. Just with a little saturation on it. Little runs in the bass line like this can help just give a little more funky and dance vibe, and it works well under these chords right here. Another thing is you want to keep your beats changing. You want there to be lots of moments. Tyler talks about this in lots of interviews, just creating moments. You have a really catchy little sound, but you don't keep it going for too long. I have just this little lead thing here, same VST. This is also the boogie bass preset, just we're playing it up a few octaves, and it's just this simple octave pattern right here. So I'll just play the chords and the bass right here. It fills up those gaps when the chords aren't playing. A few other things. Just another little layered pad. This is the synth piano, just from Ableton stock. Just some chorus and delay on it. Just a little more texture to bring in there. We also got an ARP, which Tyler loves ARPs. They're all over this album. Very similar to some Igor stuff or Flower Boy. This is just a simple one shot I found. And there's just some phaser, some panning on it. Again, we're just building up some layers to get more ear candy going. Right here, this is another layer of the chords on a electric piano. This is from Analog Lab. It's another soft thing. And we got a live piano in here too. Playing a little bit of a different melody, and then it goes back to the chords. You can probably tell all this melody is under a sidechain just to the kick to, again, give the dancey bounce to your song. And then one more thing, there is a 808 here. This is from a Pharrell drum kit, and it's just a very simple following the melody. Another thing is there is a little bit of a bridge melody right here where we switch the key and the chords. are a couple songs on this project, like a lot of Tyler's songs, that have some bridge switch-ups that go nicely back into the main melody here. And in this case, I just have those keys playing. I have another layer of keys under that, and just the bass line again following it. It's a similar pattern with these little accent notes here, but just following the new chords. During this bridge section, there's also just a simple hi-hat here. Another thing, there's just a simple little string melody, and there's some beautiful string work on Don't Worry Baby and Ring Ring Ring, but here this is just from the Labs VST. Another free thing. Very simple. But yeah, altogether, this is what the first part. There's some other little ear candy here, just like some Vox. And I have this little vocal chop here. Fight! 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 Just saying fight. And then we get into part 2. So this part was definitely inspired by Tweakin', which is the second half of the Don't Tap That Glass song. But for this, the drums, same little perks and everything, except it's halftime and we have a different kick pattern. So instead of that 4 on the floor, it's more spread out, and this snare is layered right here. But otherwise, like, same stuff. I started again with the Tyrell VST. Basically, all of the melodic stuff in here is at chord, just that. But this one's obviously a lot darker. Alright, so for the intro of that, it's the same melody except I resampled it right here. And it's just there's a little filter on it and some chorus to make it less strong. It's also pitched up an octave, I forgot about that. And that just goes into the main. Yeah, we got another bass from Tyrell right here, and this is just playing this F sharp. Nice dark synth bass. The album's covered with these more vintage sounding synths, so this stuff's perfect, and these like little repetitive changes also are prominent in lots of songs. Another crazy preset from this Tyrell is called Chemtrails, and this is just such a weird sound. It's kind of, there's like a noise sweep back there. In this part, I introduced like a clap more, old 909 clap. In songs like Don't Tap That Glass and Stop Playing With Me, there's definitely some retro hip-hop drum sounds all over that thing. There's a different 808 in here, which is a lot more distorted. Sounds a lot like the Stop Playing With Me bass and just other Igor basses in general. And I have that doing 2 slightly different patterns and different effects on it. This one's the heavier one, and I'm kind of bouncing with that with the lows cut out here, just to give her like a back and forth with the bass. Right here we got another little synth bass that's adding some texture, going in between sections. That's another thing in here. This is, again, boogie bass preset. I'm keeping it very simple, but just some different effects on here. Some flangers, some EQ. And this is playing a similar repetitive melody, but just cutting the notes really short, more jumpy. And that goes into the longer notes here. You can really hear that flanger making making that sound crazy. Another thing is Tyler includes these 90s, 2000s hip-hop vocal samples. I just grabbed a few and kind of threw them in this build-up right here. Just a little EQ, taking out the highs. And then this little fight vocal chop again. Tyler definitely uses a lot of voxes around, just building up the ear candy in his songs. And speaking of that, he got these breaths going crazy. And he's been doing this forever, but a ton on Chromacopia and Don't Tap the Glass. So I just recorded myself breathing, and this is throughout the whole thing. I'll play you for the first section right here. Just simple on the offbeat. And then we just have another little counter thing to that where it's a little darker, kind of a growl. That is layered with the first section right here. I'll play that just with the drum so you can hear it. And then this B section, I have a more loose little breath thing. And that already sounds more like a Tyler track just with having that stuff in there. I'll just play this all together. Drums, breaths, melodies, all that. So that's basically how I made this beat, inspired by Don't Tap the Glass. I tried to show some more funky and dance cuts with this first section, and some of the harder stuff, some of the more like hip-hop rooted tracks on this side. Hopefully you learned some stuff, learned some techniques, got inspired by some sounds. The full beat's going to play after this, and there's also a link to it that I posted a little bit ago. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let's let the track run.